Yo, what is up, sexy beast? Bald Fine Point Sharpie Marker here, and today we're going to be comparing the World War Mg42 to the World War II Zombies Mg42, and overall deciding which weapon is the better weapon to have. So let's go ahead and get the shit started. So the first thing I'm going to do is let you guys watch and listen to each individual weapon, both the unupgraded ones and the upgraded ones, just so you guys can see and hear the differences, and overall for yourself decide which one you prefer. So here you go. So when it comes to what these things look and sound like, I really don't have a preference. I think they both look absolutely amazing. They both look sexy as all hell. And when it comes to the sound, they both sound straight deadly. I would not want to be on the receiving end of this weapon, especially in World War II. I don't see how the Allied soldiers did this, like not the actual game, like in real life. I don't see how actual Allied soldiers went up against an MG42 because this thing is just death in the form of a gun. And it's not only deadly in real life, it's also really deadly in zombies and also one of the most iconic weapons in zombies. So saying that, the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is going to be one of the most notable features of the MG42, its fire rate. I lined up both these weapons side by side. Now the World War MG42 carries 125 in its magazine, while the World War II MG42 only carries 50, so I threw a drum mag on it so it carried it up to 100, and all I did was lower the World War MG42 down to 100, and I start firing at the exact same time. This is going to kind of be a shocker and not a shocker because the World War version is going to be faster. Now the reason I say it's not a shocker is because the World War MG42 is known for its impressive fire rate. Its fire rate is ridiculously fast. And the reason I'm saying it's a shocker is because it felt like the World War II MG42 was a lot faster, especially every time I use it. It feels and sounds just incredibly quick. It felt like, honestly to me, when I first used it, it felt like it was faster than the World War version, but when you put them side by side, you can actually see that the World War one is going to be faster. Now again, I don't have any other attachments besides the drum mag on this World War II MG42, so you can always customize it to how you like. You can always throw a rapid fire on there, you can always throw a couple other attachments, but for this MG42, I wanted to compare the bare bones ones besides the drum mag because that makes it a little bit easier to test out all this stuff. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the hip fire and accuracy. So when we line up both these weapons side by side again and I start hip firing, I would much rather take the World War II MG42 into a battle because look at that hip fire. You're not really going all over the place. Yeah, the bullets are kind of being spread out a lot, but it has such a fast fire rate and you just have so many bullets that it really doesn't matter because anything in front of you, you're going to hit. While with the World War MG42, it kind of just goes straight up and then to the left or to the right. So when it comes to overall accuracy, I would much rather have the World War II version because the recoil isn't so bad, and it looks like the overall grouping is definitely better in the World War II version, but I really don't think it matters for this type of LMG with such a fast fire rate and so much ammo. Alright, and lastly, before we actually take a look at the upgraded versions, let's go ahead and take a look at the reload speed. So I start reloading at the exact same time, and the World War version is definitely going to get done faster. So when it comes to the unupgraded weapons, when it comes to overall speed, the World War MG42 is going to be faster, but I guess when it comes to reliability, I would definitely give it to the World War II one. Alright, so now that we have both these weapons upgraded, the World War MG42 upgrades to the Barracuda FU A11, while the World War II MG42 upgrades to the Bonesaw. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take a look at all this test over again and really see what all has changed. So let's go ahead and start with the fire rate. Again, I had to lower the World War MG42 down to 100 shots because it does carry 125, and if I start shooting at the exact same time, this again kind of surprised me. They're going to be dead even. I was not expecting that really whatsoever. I was expecting the World War version to win just because as I was editing this, I edited the unupgraded versions first, and I was like, oh, okay. The World War I's faster, so I just naturally assumed that when they upgrade, that the World War MG42 is also going to be faster, but I was pleasantly surprised. They're about even, which is really, really good. I like when they don't really nerf weapons too much when they bring them over to a different game. Like with the PPSH, that thing was nerfed to all hell, but with the MG42, it looks like it didn't take that bad of a hit. Next up, let's go and take a look at the accuracy, and when it comes to accuracy, again, they're kind of going to be dead even. Once you actually upgrade the Ww2 Mg42, it does get some recoil to it, and it's going to do almost the exact same as the World at War version. They're both going to go straight up, and that's really about it. They're going to go straight up, and they're going to do it relatively quick. So when it comes to overall accuracy, I have to again say that they're tied. Alright, and lastly, before we actually take a look at both these weapons on round 50, let's go and take a look at the reload speed. So if I start reloading at the exact same time, the World at War version is actually going to be a little bit faster. Actually, not a little bit. It's going to be significantly faster. When it comes to all the ways that these two are the same, I would say this one is probably the most drastic difference, because you can definitely tell that the World at War one is going to be miles faster than the Ww2 Mg42. Alright, so now with all that fun stuff out of the way, let's go and take a look at both these weapons on round 50. Let's take a look at the World at War Mg42 first. So I really wouldn't recommend the World at War Mg42 on round 50 whatsoever. And the main reason for that is because, one, you run really fucking slow, and that is the really only reason I wouldn't recommend this weapon. You run ridiculously slow with an LMG out, and especially on a map with dogs, those dogs will fuck you up, especially in World at War. And World at War, those dogs were really aggressive and could really fuck you up. So I really probably wouldn't recommend having the Mg42 past like the 20s or 30s. Literally, like once the catwalk doesn't become an option anymore, that's when I would probably change this Mg42. But hypothetically, you are just in love with this gun, you need it in your life, you could actually use this thing on high rounds, and because it has such a fast fire rate, you will be able to actually get some kills. Now, it's not going to be the greatest weapon on round 50, but I would say out of every single LMG and zombies, it's definitely pretty good. But again, really the only thing that just hinders this weapon is your movement speed. You're going to be very slow, and trying to train with this weapon out is going to be ridiculously hard. So on round 50, I would say, theoretically, yes, you could get a lot of kills with this weapon, and theoretically, yes, it's really good, but I wouldn't really recommend it because, in reality, it's actually not that good. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at the Ww2 Mg42 on round 50. So this weapon has a lot of good things going for it. One, you actually have like stamina up, or whatever the fuck it's called in World War II. Now I do think without stamina up, you probably are going to run almost the exact same with both of these weapons, but luckily the World War II Mg42 does have stamina up, so you are going to be able to run a little bit faster, which definitely does make the Mg42 a viable option, especially on high rounds. It's going to be very powerful, and it's going to have a fast fire rate, and you can always go back and get more ammo. This weapon's going to kick some serious ass on high rounds. I would say in overall terms of what it can do without really taking anything else into consideration, I would say it's probably going to be maybe on par, or if not a little bit better than the World at War version. On high rounds in each respective game with their setup, I would much rather have the World War II Zombies Mg42 than the original World at War one. But saying that, I would also rather have the World at War Mg42 on early rounds than the World War II one. I feel like I could sit in any corner with this World at War Mg42 and absolutely destroy anything on like rounds 1 through 20. But once you really kind of start to get up there, I would much rather have the World War II one because it's pretty powerful, you have stamina up, you can run a lot faster, you can actually train with this thing, and you can constantly go back and get ammo from Pack-a-Punch. Now I know I try not to consider ammo in this series because it's just completely unfair, but I mean that is a pretty big pro that the World War II one has going for it. So my overall verdict is, on early rounds, I would much rather have the World at War version, and on high rounds, I would much rather have the World War II version. But that's just my bald-ass opinion, and I'm very curious to know, what is your guys' opinion? Let me know in the comments which one do you guys prefer, and on what round. Let me know down below, and also, real quick, shout out to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome, and I love you guys. I'm getting an MP40 here soon, and if you want early access to that, go ahead and support me. Link will be down below. You get a bunch of cool stuff, early access to content, your name on my head, and a lot more. So if that does sound interesting to you, go ahead and check it out. And also make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and Discord. All those links will also be in the description. And lastly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.